Hey guys, my name is Matt, and I'm a senior in high school living in New York right now. I'm looking for something to do because I'm off from school for the next 2 weeks due to the coronavirus, so I figured why not start a podcast? I'm planning on studying finance and accounting wherever I go to college, and I'm very passionate about investing in financial literacy in general. Today, I wanted to start the podcast off with an introduction to stocks and why it's important to start investing as soon as possible. In addition to that brief introduction, I want to make this podcast and or YouTube series as fun and interactive with you guys, the viewers, as possible, because I know that financial literacy and investing might not be the most lucrative field of study for you guys, so anything that I could do to spice it up or keep it interesting, please let me know. Because this is the first episode, I had to find something to keep you guys entertained, make you guys want to watch. So here's my terrible sense of humor and act. So I definitely didn't look up stock jokes. Um, I definitely did not come across this picture that I laughed at because I thought it was so stupid. But the picture that I did find was somebody saying, "Who needs GT night at Six Flags when you could get a roller coaster like thrill from the stock market?" And I'm assuming that GT night means Georgia Tech night because he's wearing the Bumblebee shirt, like right here. And he says, "I think I'm going to lose my lunch." But the other guy says, "I think I'm going to lose my life savings," because he that was in the stock market. But I'm going to get into the stock market and what stocks are in this next sequence. All right, so it's time to address the money question. What actually is a stock? So a stock is pretty much a small portion of ownership in a larger company. So an example that I could give you is a company called Amazon. You guys all, I'm sure, know what Amazon actually is, but pretty much their stock price right now is at $1,702 a share. So pretty much there are 498 million shares outstanding, meaning that there's 498 million other shares of Amazon that exist. So pretty much when you purchase one share at $1,700, you're purchasing one 498 millionth of the company Amazon. So pretty much people purchase stock because they believe that the stock value will go up. And then pretty much when that stock value goes up, you sell it at a higher price than you bought it, meaning that you accumulate profit. So say you purchase Amazon stock right now at $1,700 and you sell it at $1,800. Then that extra $100 that you make is pure profit. So pretty much the way that the companies move in that direction is based on optimism about how the company is going to do in the future. So that has to deal with things like what products are they releasing for the future? What more can they be doing to beat their competitors? And pretty much the better the company is standing, the higher the stock value will rise. Additionally, it has to tie into things like how the overall markets are doing. So right now, the coronavirus is hitting the global markets hard. And this is what you can see replicated in Amazon stock price. So pretty much the stock peaked around $2,100 a share, but now it's at $1,700 because fears of the coronavirus are having people sell out and or it's hurting their image of how Amazon functions as a company. So pretty much in short, a stock is a small share of a company. So pretty much when in Amazon's case, $1,700 is 1/498 millionth of the actual company. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is how stocks actually tie into financial literacy. And this is done by helping people retire earlier if they have investment funds. So pretty much I put a model on Google Sheets about how much you can make in profit if you put in a certain amount and grow it at a certain percent over a certain amount of years. So pretty much over here I have years invested, the total amount that you actually have in your account that is invested, the amount of money that you're actually putting into your account in total, and the amount of profit that you're making off of that in total. So pretty much, in this model, somebody threw in $50,000 in year zero, and they grew it around 7% per year over the span of 30 years, and every year they're going to throw in $12,000. So pretty much if you throw in $1,000 a month in savings and then you put that $12,000 into the stock market over the next 30 years for pretty much whatever purpose it is, your money will accumulate to grow to about $1.5 million. Pretty much, you only put in the 50,000 plus the $12,000 every year. So pretty much when you add all that up, it's 410,000. But because money grows on top of itself, that's called the time value of money. It grows all the way to $1.5 million, making you a net income of $1.104 million. But that's only over the span of 30 years. The younger you are, the more time you have to let the money grow on itself. So say you're like me and you're a high school senior and you want to throw it in for 50 years as opposed to 30 years. So pretty much you take it out around the time when you're about 67, 68, 69, 70, whatever it is. So you grow this number out all the way down to 50 years, and boom, now all of a sudden you're at $6.3 million because the money grows on top of itself. So every dollar that you earn is essentially being reinvested and compounding at that 7% rate. That's pretty much just how exponential growth works. And when you drag all these numbers out, the total contributions that you're putting in would be 650,000, but the amount that you're making is 5.7 million. So pretty much it's important to know that when you're very young, you need to invest as soon as possible because you get things like this crazy growth here where you see about $400,000 of growth as opposed to all the way at the beginning of your time where you're only seeing something like $15,000 of growth. Look at the profit, 0 to 3,500, then to 8,000, then to fit 13,000, 20,000, whatever it is, and it grows all the way from 0 to 3,500 to 5.2 million to 5.7 million. Hence why it's important to invest as early as possible. Okay, but let's say now that I sold you on the idea of why you should be investing as soon as possible, you're like, I don't know where to put my money. I don't know whether or not I want a specific company because what if the company just falls down in value and or they go bankrupt? That's why they have things called index funds. So an index fund is pretty much like a combination of a bunch of stocks all thrown into one. So in this case, this is called the Invesco QQQ Trust. So pretty much this index fund throws a bunch of tech companies in one huge portfolio, and then you purchase a tiny percentage of each company by purchasing one share of this index fund. So pretty much it means that you don't have to do any of the work to find the specific company. All you really have to do is purchase one share of this, and if the whole tech market goes up in the future and they all do well, which they should be for because tech is the future, all you're doing is you're literally just sitting there and you're riding on the gains of each and every single one of these companies together. And if one falls, there's no problem because you have other companies that's going to pick it up. And that's pretty much called diversification. And diversification is important in investments because even though you could be 100% sure, okay, well, you can never be 100% sure, but you could be 99% sure that the company that you're purchasing is the best company. What if that 1% hits? And that 1% hits and the company goes bankrupt. You lose all of your money. But in this case, if one company goes bankrupt, you have a bunch of other companies that are still earning money that are pretty much going to make up the losses for that. And you're still going to see a loss, but it's just not going to be as bad because you're not losing 100% of your money. Instead, you'll lose whatever percentage of this actual index fund that stock was. Alright, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was market timing. And that's pretty much when you decide to purchase or sell shares of stock based on what the entire market is doing in beliefs that you can outsmart the market. Pretty much, long story short, there's no way of outsmarting the market. Um, let's say that you purchase a stock right here, and all of a sudden the stock starts going down, 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 down. So you purchase more of the stock right here in beliefs that it's going to shoot back up to right about where it is right now. Let's say that you purchase stock right here because you think that you're so smart that the market's going to go all the way up. But now it goes back down, right? And now you're losing even more money as before. But that's all because you tried making a quick buck. Now let's say you purchase for the long term and you purchase it right here. All of a sudden, you're going down, 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 but it comes back up, 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 and you're making even more money. Pretty much, that's the way to avoid market timing. You purchase long term because historically, the market will go up on an average of 7%. And not obviously not every year you're going to make 7%. One year you could be down 10%, but if the next year you're up 17%, you're still up 7%. That's how it works. So pretty much the way that you avoid market timing is by investing long term and doing something like this where you're invested for, say, 30, 40, 50 years. But pretty much when you try timing the market to make a quick buck by saying right here, as an example, hey, I think the market's going to go up. Now it's all the way down here. And now you panic. Now all of a sudden you lose out on all this money coming back up. Pretty much the way that you are a successful investor is by investing for a long period of time. And pretty much all you have to do is really invest in solid, strong companies and stay with them for over the span of 10, 20, 30 years. That's what Warren Buffett does, the most legendary investor who has gained over $88 billion of net worth by just doing simple stuff like not hitting the panic button when things go to crap. Like right now, what we're seeing with the coronavirus. Because now everybody's panicking that the world is going to end from the coronavirus, and the stock on average, or the Dow Jones goes down from 30,000 to 21,000, 33% loss. People are panicking and they're losing all of this money. But if you just stay long term invested, yeah, you're losing money now, but it will come back up because the world will never end like that. And even if the world does end, money becomes arbitrary at that point and money becomes worthless, and that's what people don't seem to understand. So the second this market comes back up from the coronavirus and what we're seeing, you're going to be making 30, 40, 50% back on your money, and if not, you're going to be making even more, and it's going to keep going up. But that's not saying imminently that the market can continue going down. But that's why you're in it for the long term, because you don't care what it does today, and you don't care if you lose 99% of your money today, as long as you're up 10,000% on your money in 30 years. Okay, so just to conclude everything that we talked about today. So we talked about what a stock actually was, being a small portion of ownership in a company, and the example that I gave for that was Amazon, and how you can make money off of a stock by buying low pretty much and selling high. So saying buying at 1700 and selling at 2100 like it was 6 months ago, or in February. And then we talked about what an index fund was, being a combination of a bunch of different stocks and how you gain safety, a safety net, because what you're investing in is more than one company. So you don't see all the potential losses. You only see a certain percentage, which is the percentage of what that company is in the index fund. And then finally, we talked about why you shouldn't be trying to market time because it almost never works. And in change, the best way to invest is to stay long term so you can invest and make a certain amount of profit like 5.7 million over 50 years with the model that I gave. So in short, that was the first episode of the podcast. I'd love to hear any comments, concerns, feedback, just anything that you could give me. I'd love to hear, even constructive criticism, anything, hate, whatever. I'd like to make this better, and as school is still closed, I'd like to make more episodes. So any future ideas that you have, please let me know in the comments. And thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you later.